Explain the issue you addressed.
So recently, the town of Fort Myers, in a broader perspective, Southwest Florida went through a hurricane last September/October that pretty much damaged the area. So our group decided that we wanted to tackle a topic that focuses on the environment and have an environmental aspect to it. So we decided to work with crew in order to find a way that we could help as citizens in order to keep our waterways clean. Now, CREW is a land and water trust that serves as an aquifer / filter for water that comes down and runs through the ground and eventually reaches the Gulf. We decided to work with them and go along the trails to make sure that this aquifer is not filled with like pollution and trash and debris. So that was our goal, to do that, to make sure that the water that passes through is not affected by the trash and pollution that is there, so it could naturally go through the steps that it's supposed to go through in order to reach the ocean and be clean and filtered by the time it reaches the ocean.
Go ahead. I'll talk about it, but I haven't fully seen
Hi, my name is Alexia. I'm one of the group members in the Civic Engagement class who is working with CREW, Land and Water Trust, and I'm going to be telling you about our project and the kind of timeline of how it's gone.
What is our project objective?
Our project objective to work with CREW is to kind of be an advocate for education on CREW, the wildlife that is around there of the 60,000 acres that they have so far, and to also kind of clean up the trails after what Hurricane Ian has damaged throughout them.
How have you worked towards the project objective?
So what we do, every weekend we have tried to go out to some different trails that they have. They have around 6 to 7 trails. We've gone to the Cypress Domes, the CREW Marsh Trails, the Rookery Bird Swamps, and we go out, we put some gloves on, we get our CREW volunteer shirts on, that way people know what we're doing and that we're allowed to be doing these things. And we go out, we pick up trash, anything we can, obviously. We stay away from things that maybe biohazards, but we let people know about those too. Going through the full trails, I know CREW Marsh Trail has 3 different trails, and we've gone on almost all of them to kind of pick up what we can and what we see. We don't go off the trails, obviously, because that's a danger to us. But whatever we see, we pick up, and then at the end, we let our leader know, and we put it into service hours, but we also have it tracked of how much we've picked up for that day.
What were some of the successes and failures you experienced?
I mean, since first going into those trails, there was quite a bit of trash that was there, and it's been very fortunate that we've been able to pick up what we can see. And going there, after the 3rd or 4th time, it was almost impossible to find any trash, which is fantastic to see. And overall, the trails have been easier to get through after a lot of the cleaning up of the grass and everything like that. So that's been awesome. We've also just been advocates tabling here at FGCU to let people know that they can get free service learning hours here, which is fantastic, and just kind of know about the organization in total, and maybe have them be part of it too. Failures, which are kind of obvious failures. Scheduling has been kind of a problem with some people. I know obviously that all of us do work, so finding the time slots where all of us are there can kind of be tricky. But whatever we're not at or someone isn't at from the group, we'll let them know what we did, and they can either go out to CREW themselves, or they can do the tabling things or do social media stuff. So everyone has had their little roles, and no one's been not doing anything. Everybody's had their role here.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I mean, it's been a pretty good project to do, and I know a lot of us come back from environmental science backgrounds or marine backgrounds, so this is an awesome organization to keep in trust with, and kind of even have it as a future goal in mind to work with them. So it's been awesome to kind of get to know everybody, so it's been great.
Hi, I'm Tori, and we as a group are working with CREW Water Trust. I am answering number 3 of our CEP project, part 2. I believe that civic dialogue was the major course objective that applies best to our community project. Civic dialogue is described to be when communities come together to discuss issues, policies, or challenges in people's lives, communities, and societies. I believe our project gave us the ability to bring FGCU as a community and Crew as a local organization together more with educating and talking with the students of FGCU. While tabling on campus, we had the ability to discuss issues such as the major importance of keeping our watersheds clean, educating our fellow classmates on the community's need for watersheds as they allow for many native species to have an undisturbed home, while watersheds also help tremendously with keeping flooding from happening as the pristine preserved land is responsible for swallowing the surplus of water left from extreme rainstorms. While tabling on campus, we were able to inform students on how to be involved as well as informing them of where they can go to enjoy the public trails that Crew provides for the community. Giving was a major trait we discussed in class, and it was constantly utilized throughout our entire project. Giving was mostly expressed through giving our free time to Crew, our community partner, or giving information and resources to fellow students on campus. Another theme we worked on was serving. By all 5 of us being dedicated to this project and our community partner, we allowed for ourselves to be at their disposal for whatever they needed us to do. Opening up our time and abilities to our partner is what allowed us to serve them better and in turn serve our community.
So, what did you learn from this project, and how did the project impact you as a group member?
What I've learned about this project is just how big of a part Florida's ecological systems work and how they're all interconnected, like from the swamps to the watersheds to the ethereal swamps and the lakes and along with the beaches. We just learned a lot about that stuff and how like all of our wildlife is really like deeply connected to each other, from like the gopher tortoises that make like the burrows to how the watershed is able to like clean up all the pollution that goes into the beach, which we know is really important because we have a lot of like nutrient runoff from the agriculture system that we have here, and it just causes a lot of eutrophication, which then leads to our red tide, which is really important because Florida relies a lot on its beaches for tourism and the fish for like the fisheries and the economical point view of that.
What would you say your perspective is on your community partner?
Our community partner, Crew, I think that what they do is great. They are a nonprofit organization that owns about, I think, 67,000 acres of land that is put forward for conservation, restoration, and education, which I think is really important because we have a lot of tourists come down here and not a lot of them know too well about what our systems are down here in Florida. They don't know how they should take care of the swamps, of the animals, of the beaches. People tend to trash up things, so I think that what Crew does on educating them is really important, and it also just gives people like a hand-to-hand experience of what they can do for our nature, and how it's really just as simple as taking a walk and being able to pick up any trash and guiding people on what to do and what not to do when they see other wild animal near them. So I think that's pretty nice.
Okay, so what should people know about your project?
I think that what they should know about our project is how it impacts them greatly, because it's not, just a simple, like beach cleanup. No, like it's about how all the pollution and all the agriculture that's impacting our waterways is gonna impact us negatively, directly, because the red tide is toxic. It can kill you, whether it's through respiratory lung disease, or you get an infection from the bacteria that live in that red tide, or all the fishes are being killed, and any of the bivalves such as oysters and mussels that eat that red tide and eat any of the bacteria that live in it will get toxins, and if people eat those shellfish, they can die or get some sort of like disease or infection from it, which is, I would say, really important.